The very cell phone from which you TikTok has animal parts in it, whether you like it or not, thus making you a hypocrite, a vegan hypocrite. What? So good to be seen, and it's even better to see what's going on, guys. Welcome back to yet another video. This one, of course, brought to you by my Petmosphere app, the only app that you'll ever need for anything pet related. If you're a pet lover like myself, feel free to swing by petmosphere.com and download anywhere in the world for free on both iOS and Android devices. So continuing with the TikTok trend, as you can imagine, I get plenty of rebuttals every single day on my videos, and it just so happens that this week I've been getting a lot of rebuttals specifically tailored to my iPhone. I purchased an iPhone 11 last year, and I get told that it has animal parts in it, and unfortunately it's not a lie. It does in fact contain animal parts in the form of some sort of glue. I actually looked into it, so it's technically not a lie. It's a point in a non-vegan's favor. I also did a little bit more research into the fact of whether or not a smartphone is actually vegan or not, and it turns out that there are plenty of information regarding mining for the materials used, which obviously contributes to habitat deterioration and a degradation and a corrosion of environmental and ecological problems. So you could actually make a case for the fact that iPhones and Androids and even Blackberries, if you're still using those, are in fact non-vegan or not aligned with vegan values. This, however, is something that I felt I needed to explain in further detail, which is why we're here today. If you're actually new here and you love motivation and veganism, then consider subscribing. So I want to get down to the nitty-gritty because this is actually a very important subject to talk, albeit it's seemingly very minuscule in importance. I, for one, happen to hop on social media and I attack my veganism from a psychological standpoint, and I touch base on the most widely discussed topics from religion and taste to tradition and culture and even ancestry. And at the end of the day, it boggles my mind that I throw the kitchen sink at these people and I give them every single rebuttal in the books, and for whatever reason, they want to harp on the 1%, right? You talk about the 99% of the more robust vegan arguments, which makes sense and they have no counter argument for, but somehow they feel the need to deflect the conversation and instead project the guilt that I have inflicting on them right back onto you as if there's some sort of mirror. So when I say that there is no justification for taking the life of an animal that does not want to live, and in return I get a comment as silly as my cell phone has body parts, you can imagine that's a little frustrating. It's definitely infuriating, and you see it as a projection of guilt, right? They're deflecting the consciousness that you are trying to inflict upon them right back at you, because they don't want to deal with the very thing that you made them feel bad about. So that big bulky 99% of vegan argument is countered by this 1%, right? The very important smartphones that we all have. Apparently they all get mined for. Apparently they contain gelatins and the glue that keep all the components together. And for whatever reason, they feel as though this is way more important than animal agriculture. They feel this is more important than climate change. They feel this is more important than deforestation, ocean dead zones, billions of animal lives lost, humans' lives lost as a result of heart disease and diabetes and chronic illnesses. So for whatever reason, they choose to turn on that defense mechanism in the form of cognitive dissonance, and instead of attacking the messages, they shoot the messenger. In this case, it's you and I. Right? We get the blunt force trauma online when it comes to silly rebuttals. Instead of addressing the matters that we're speaking of, they choose to instead call us out on this so-called hypocrisy of being a non-vegan because we own the latest iPhones. Now, let's not cover the hand with our sky here. We live in a digital world, and if you happen to not have a cell phone, then you're going to be pretty disconnected from the world. So I see this more as a necessary evil. I don't necessarily view having a phone like an iPhone or an Android or even a BlackBerry, if you still own those, as a reason as to not think of yourself as a vegan. I don't think it makes you any less vegan because you happen to have a cell phone. I don't think it makes you any less vegan if you have an old car that used to have or still has leather seats in it after you made the decision to go vegan. So these are silly arguments that we need to keep an eye out for, and revert course and call them out on their own silly arguments, because it's one thing to call us out on a hypocrisy if it's actually in the grand scheme of things, if it paints a big picture. But 99% of all cell phones perhaps are even mined for, and admittedly they would be right, but for you to focus on the 1% as opposed to acknowledge the 99%, I think that right there is way sillier than actually blaming us for having an Android. So that's where I stand on the matter. So I want to ask you the very same question. Do you think less of yourself as a vegan because you own a smartphone in 2020? Let me know in the comments below, and we will banter back and forth. If this is our first date, I would like to see you again. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and make sure to hit the bell on the way out so that you don't miss any of my videos. If you're on TikTok, I'm going to go ahead and link it below so that we can banter back and forth and perhaps grow as people. Until then, I will see you in the next video. Take care.